Yeah.
How old are you, sir?
42.
And what city do you live in?
Minneapolis.
How far did you go in school?
12th grade.
And are you working now?
Currently not.
And are you married?
Yes.
Who are you married to?
Katie Wright.
And does Katie Wright also go by her legal name, Katie Bryant?
Yes.
Do you and Katie have any children together?
We have 3.
And could you tell the jury their names, please?
Daunte Wright, Destiny Wright, and Diamond Wright.
And is Dante, your son Dante, is he no longer with us?
No.
Was Dante the oldest of the 3 children?
Yes, he was our firstborn.
What was Dante's role as the older brother to 2 younger girls?
His role to the younger girls was the big brother, to look after them, watch after them.
And what was his relationship like with his younger sisters growing up?
The relationship with the younger sisters was like a big brother. Joked a lot, always constantly following behind them, making sure they were okay.
And did you and your wife Katie and your children Dante and Diamond and Destiny all live together up until Dante's death?
Yes, we did.
Do you also have some other children from a previous relationship?
I do.
And how many other children do you have?
I have 2 other kids prior to our relationship, Marcus Wright and Monica Wright.
And where do Marcus and Monica live?
They live in North Carolina.
So between you and your wife, Katie, how many children do you have altogether?
She had 2 kids prior to our relationship, so we had 7 altogether.
So getting back to your life with Dante growing up and his younger sisters, what kinds of things did you and your family do together for fun to pass the time?
Well, we got together every Sunday we would have cookouts and stuff like that. Family days, we would do movies and stuff like that. We did a lot of things as a family, as a group, because we're like all we have, so.
Cookouts, you said?
Cookouts constantly every Sunday, every weekend, pretty much.
Did Dante have any favorite foods?
Well, yeah, he did. He liked chicken, I guess. We all did. So.
Was that a family favorite at the cookouts?
Pizza. Excuse me?
Was chicken a family favorite at the cookouts?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Did he like sports?
He loved basketball. He played pretty well. He was a left-hander, so he was pretty good.
And as he grew older, into his teenage years and beyond, did he have a variety of different jobs that he worked?
Had a lot of different jobs. I even got him a job with me before.
And when you say you got him a job, was there a time where you and Dante worked together?
Yeah, it was a time we worked together. I was his boss, and I was happy, to have my son coming on to work with me.
Where was it that you 2 were working together?
I was a manager at Famous Footwear.
And about how long did you 2 work together at Famous Footwear?
About a year. About a year. He worked there about a year with me.
About how long was that before he died that you 2 worked together?
Well, it was his last day was when the COVID hit. So his last day working with me was right in the beginning of the COVID.
So about a year ago is when you guys stopped working together? How was it for you working with your son, Dante?
It was great. It was challenging, to work with my son. I tried to let him understand the difference between where at work I'm your boss and at home I'm your dad. It's a difference. So, but it was funny. Like it was this one time where I had sent him home because he was on his phone at work and he wasn't supposed to be on the phone at work. Like, yo, we gotta go home. And so he went and asked my boss, is it okay if my dad sends me home? And I'm like, my boss like, yeah, he's your boss. And I'm like, well, you need to go home. And I come out in the hallway and he's still there. And I'm like, well, why are you still here? And he's like, well, Dad, I rode with you. I couldn't go home because you're my ride. I think it's funny, but yeah, that was a funny thing that happened at work.
So not only were you working together, but you were driving to and from
Yeah,
work together?
every day, yeah.
You got to spend some quality time together.
Yep, spend a lot of time together.
Your Honor, at this time I'd offer Exhibit 240.
Any objection to 240? Okay, I previously ruled on it over defense objection, and 240 will be admitted into evidence.
Thank you. If we could publish it, please, and put it on the screen. All right, there's a picture on the screen now. It's Exhibit 240. Could you just explain to the jury what's shown in this picture? Take a minute if you need one.
Picture of me and Dante. You see how, I was holding him. See how his arm, we had a close relationship. He was me and my wife's first child.
And was this picture at your home?
Yes.
Was this not long before he passed
This
away?
was right before he passed away.
And if we could put on the screen Exhibit 3, please. That's already been admitted. Did your son Dante also have a son of his own?
Yes.
And
First and only child. That's my grandson, Dante Jr.
And your grandson's name, you said, is Dante Jr.?
Yes.
How was it seeing your son Dante as a father?
Excuse me.
How was it to see your son as a father?
Man, to see him as a father, it was like I was so happy for him because he was so happy. He was so happy about Junior. And this was my chance to be a grandfather.
Did they have a close relationship?
Yes.
And did Dante Jr. spend a lot of time with your family as well?
Yeah. Dante Jr., Dante lived with us. Junior was pretty much there every day. And he loved his son.
And did you love your son, Dante, a lot as well?
A lot. I loved Dante. He was loved.
Do you miss him?
I miss him a lot every day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Is there any cross? All right. Thank you, Mr. Wright. You may step down. Does the state have any further witnesses? All right, members of the jury, we're going to stop right now, and I'm going to let you go home, but I want to remind you, and I've told you this before, I don't mean to insult you, but it's very, very important that you not listen to any news reports about this case. Don't read any articles. Don't, any podcasts. Don't do any research on the case. And stay off social media about this case, okay? Now, I heard that we might be having some bad weather tonight. And tomorrow the roads may be a little icy, so I do want to start on time tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So please take that into consideration, the fact that it might take you longer to get places tomorrow morning, okay? All right. Have a nice night, and we'll see you, and drive safely tomorrow morning, okay? Okay. Counsel, does anyone want to put anything on the record right now?
Yes, Your Honor, there are a couple of issues we would like to raise.
Okay.
Your Honor, in the anticipation that the state is going to rest tomorrow, we have noticed that the defense is going to call some witnesses. The defense has provided a somewhat lengthy list of witnesses that I believe would be characterized as 404A1 witnesses or character witnesses. I got note of at least probably 12 witnesses. I just wanted to note this is essentially a prospective motion to prohibit needless cumulative evidence of 404A character evidence. So far, we've heard from Johnson, who's elicited a character opinion, Fleslin, who's issued a character opinion supportive of the officer, Sergeant Peterson, who's also been offered a character opinion. I, based on the discovery, anticipate that Colleen Fricke will share one, and then also former Chief Gannon. That would be 5 to date. That would be notwithstanding, I think, the 10 pending based on their witness order. The court has heard the needlessly cumulative objection raised by the defense, I guess repeatedly since the trial began, and the court has sustained some of those objections. Here the shoe is on the other foot. At this time, the state is objecting to the defendant's apparent intention to present additional character evidence beyond that of Fricke and Gannon's. At some point, Your Honor, and we think it would be after Gannon's testimony, that would constitute the needless presentation of cumulative evidence. We're bringing this up prospectively now because, given the abundance of witnesses, I think that if the court properly guides the defense, they can have their choice as to who among them they would want to call if they chose to go a different direction. You have not seen and will not see the state attempt to contradict these opinions shared. Repeated testimony along the same lines illuminates nothing further, and it's an improper effort to bring a chorus on these issues where I think soloists have already done the job. At some point, such testimony has no probative value. It's duplicative, and the state's position obviously is, after Gannon testifies, 5 is enough. When we have addressed these issues of cumulative evidence so far, the state has referenced to State v. Amos. That would be at 347 Northwest 2nd, 498. That's a Minnesota Supreme Court case of 1984. Essentially, in that case, a party decided they wanted to parade a bunch of witnesses into court to testify that a particular location was notorious for drug dealing and gambling. The court allowed 3 witnesses to provide such testimony, but after that did exclude further testimony as being needlessly cumulative. Here we have the same point. We have heard from these witnesses. The state is not even objecting to the defense calling Fricke and Gannon for those purposes. But at that point, it seems like the point has been made and that the court is certainly within its discretion to exclude further character evidence. There isn't perhaps a 404A1 case directly on point, Your Honor, but there is a case within the Spriegel realm. I'd reference State v. Washington. That's 693 Northwest 2nd, 195 at page 203. In that case, the Supreme Court noted that it was proper to limit Spriegel evidence at a certain point to reduce the risk that juries will become fixed on it and will blur the lines between evaluating the elements of the offenses charged and simply the evidence of the defendant's character. I think that it's right for the court to consider that, and I do believe that it's timely, although a bit prospective, for the court, for the state to raise that motion at this time. That's the state's first motion with regard to this. I believe the state has two other 404A1 motions. We could hear this first, or I could give it to you all now. Which would you prefer?
Okay, I would like the defense to respond at the podium. Mr. Ng, how many character witnesses are you intending on
Well,
calling?
we're not going to call 12. We had 5 scheduled for tomorrow. Sam Smith, Lisa Thies, Ann Curtis, Frank Roth, and Tom Hall. We were going to evaluate when they got in how many we were going to use. I'm somewhat sensitive to their claim, although I'm somewhat insensitive to the idea that the state has been efficient in their presentation. I find their presentation to be entirely redundant, and so the claim here that we can't spend 15 minutes on some testimony doesn't resonate with the defense.
Well, it's good to hear that you're not going to be calling 12.
No, of course not. And, you know, the police officers were fact witnesses. Mm-hmm. They happen to know
I'm talking pure character witnesses.
For pure character witnesses, we have 5. I may not call all 5. Those are the pure ones. That's the only reason they're here.
Okay. Are they all 5 of them going to say the same thing?
Well, I'm constrained by your ruling as to peacefulness and law-abidingness, yes. You know, I know her. We met her. I've known her since childhood. I've known her for 5 years, 10 years. You know, that sort of thing.
Okay, pick 3.
Pick 3. We will do.
All right. Okay. Anything else? Oh, I think you had another motion. Okay.
I would note, Your Honor, depending on which 3 the defense calls, we may have no discovery from any summaries of any statements made, so I wouldn't make any demands of any statements made by those witnesses, respectfully. At this time, this, I guess, motion pertains strictly to Officer Fricke and Tim Gannon, who are apparently prepared to provide character opinions. So I don't know whether they are included in this group of 3 that the court talked about. They are not included. Because Tim Gannon is not a fact witness, Your Honor. But at this time, the state moves to limit the opinions of Officer Fricke and Tim Gannon to those specifically permitted by the court. And I know that we just went over, Mr. Ng went over what he believes the court's ruling was with regard to what pertinent traits are relevant in this case. That would be law-abidingness and peacefulness. In the defense interview with Officer Fricke, though, additional opinions were laid out that I think are beyond the scope of the court's ruling, and I'll just list things such as patient with suspects, unfailingly polite, treated everyone with respect, devoted to victims of abuse, had a reputation for honesty. For admissible